I got a note from somebody. I work with about 6 people, mostly younger people or their parents. And I help them on a lot of different situations. And I got this note, and the note was basically a list of all these things that I'm unhappy about. And I just want to share with you a couple thoughts. This person wrote me and said, I'm angry with the world. I'm angry because it seems like this is unfair. I'm young. I'm in school. This isn't fair. This isn't a good time for me. I would rather it be happening another time. I'm mad and angry because the decision makers in the world don't seem to be doing the best job. And honestly, I feel powerless about changing any of it. And it's really bothering me. They go on to tell me that they have a lot of disappointment in people as a whole. The racism thing, the divide between us, the violence and the unfairness and the death. They feel powerless over that. They said, I want things to go back to normal. They said, I don't want to take classes online. I want to go back to class. I like being in class. I want to be able to exercise outside and not feel guilty about becoming part of the problem. I want to be part of the solution. So I will be part of the solution, they say. But there's no end in sight, they say. I'm jealous, I'm angry that other countries seem to be getting back to normal. They seem to be doing a better job of managing it than we do. I can't fix it. I can't fix it. I don't know if it can be fixed, they say. I feel bad because I'm doing nothing. I feel bad because I'm upset. I'm upset that I'm upset. I feel guilty that I'm upset. I feel guilty that I'm upset because everyone's struggling. And honestly, most people are struggling more than me. I have resources. I have something to fall back on. And then they shared with me 4 kind of little small things at home. I don't like this and I don't like that. And, I had to kind of drag that out of them. That's a tough spot to be in. And, if you listen to my first podcast, one of the things I talk about is several years ago, quite a few years ago, 17 years ago to be specific, I got very, very stuck. And I felt like the world was bigger than me. And despite my success and my resources and my padding at home, that really wasn't so bad, I still felt as upset and out of control as I could be. And I had nowhere to go. Nowhere. So I did what I thought was my only way out, and I started writing stuff down. And I tried to just force myself to figure it out. And I did. And I did. And there were 2 basic categories. There were things that I could do something about. And there was a category of things that I couldn't really do anything about on the macro level, at the high level, on a large scale. I didn't have global or national politics on my list, but I had some big things. And what I found was when I started going through it, and basically what I did, you can look at the podcast and video on YouTube. But basically what I did is, it's a practice that I learned many years later in business, and it's called ask why 5 times, right? I'm upset. Why are you upset? Answer the question. Why? If they answer the question, I'm upset because I don't feel good physically. Okay, why don't you feel good physically? Well, I don't feel good physically because I haven't been exercising. Why haven't you been exercising? I haven't been exercising because I don't feel like I have the time. Why don't you feel like you have the time? Well, I don't feel like I have the time because my life's busy and I choose to work on other things. Yeah, you're right. So I'm choosing not to make time. Why aren't you making time? And then eventually you ask why 5 times and you're like, gosh darn it, you're right. And you're having this conversation with yourself. And even the things that are out of your control, maybe there's something that you can do to at least accept it as it is. Maybe there's one thing you could do. You know, if you're upset about global politics or national politics or local politics or some other bigger, larger than life issues, maybe you could do one thing constructive, right? How do we move ourselves into a better situation? Maybe you could write a letter. Maybe you could make a stand. Maybe you could attend a rally. Maybe you could show support. Maybe you could make a donation. Maybe you could write a letter to the world or post a YouTube video. This is how I feel, and I feel guilty for feeling this way. But maybe other people feel this way too. And I just thought I'd share because I'm honest. Or you just suck it up because there isn't anything you can do. I have never, I have 17 years worth of spreadsheets. I reload that spreadsheet of mine, unhappiness.xlsx. I reload it every year. And it's always different, and there's new things, and there's different things. And there's progress. And I try to do something. And I have never had a single item on one of my year's spreadsheets where there was literally nothing I could do. There was always, every single item I had, there was always something I could do. And maybe it wasn't going to affect the world as a whole and humanity as a whole, but I'd do something. And with that, I'd try. And I could let some of that pressure and that anxiety and some of that stress come down. And maybe it comes down out of my head and out of my heart and out of my gut. And I'm feeling a little tension, down in my legs or a little stress somewhere else. But it's, my business coach Sarah calls it clearing. You clear some of those things. You flush through them. I use a spreadsheet. Everybody's different. But until you sit down and you work on the things that are bothering you, you're going to stay stuck. Hard to do, easy to say. But there's the challenge. Are you willing to look at it? Are you willing to try? Are you willing to do something? Thank you. Do good shit today.